What embarrassing or disturbing thing have you found while helping a friend move? U/Jealous Network 1899 responded. Not moving, but my friend had just bought a house from a nice old lady. We were gutting the basement so he could renovate it, and when we ripped down part of the ceiling, an old leather satchel fell to the ground. We both looked at the satchel, looked at each other, and assumed we just found a bag full of cash. We opened it up, wondering how we were got spend our newfound fortune. There was no money. What there were pictures. Lots of pictures. Of the nice old lady. And her husband. And their friends. And none of them were wearing any clothes. And they were apparently swingers. And they were into some freaky shit. We did the only thing we felt was appropriate. When we put up the new ceiling, we sealed it right back up in there for some future homeowners to stumble upon. U/4011s responded. Friend asked me to hand him a set of pliers from a toolbox in the bedroom. Reached around, opened the toolbox behind me and found not tools. He and his wife kept their bedroom toys in a toolbox under the bed that we were taking apart as they moved. Instead of tools, I was greeted with a large assortment of dildos, lube, condoms, and other items I couldn't identify in the 3 seconds it took for my brain to start working again and decide this was not the box I was looking for. He turned bright red, slammed the box shut and disappeared with it. 4 years after, he couldn't say the word tool around me without me having to stifle giggles and him turning red. LOL. U/Sanguinutron responded. Helping a friend move with his dad, and he asks me to be the one to carry this specific box to the truck. I, knowing my friend has not come out to his parents, assumed some stuff about the contents and said no more about it except I accept this responsibility. I pick it up. Heavier than I expected it to be. The tape on the bottom gives and a single rubber dick falls out. Right in front of his dad. My poor friend looks absolutely horrified. And his dad looks at him, asks that thing clean? Friend basically squeaks yes. Dad picks it up, tosses it back in the box and continues taking stuff to the truck. I get an update on the follow-up in the next couple days. His dad has known he was gay since high school. U/Deleted responded. The mother of a guy I was dating was a former drug addict. She had gotten clean and had been clean for years. She finally was able to buy a house and we were all so excited. We were packing up her little apartment and she had to warn us that when she was in active addiction she would hide drugs and paraphernalia throughout her house, and she was pretty sure she'd already disposed of everything over the years, but don't freak out if we find something. Sure enough, we found a couple of needles and pipes hidden in the most random off-the-wall places, on top of cabinets she can't even reach, behind the fridge, etc. U/outrageous_emu8503 responded. Not embarrassing or disturbing, but profound. A mom friend known for her frugality had cancer. It was caught at stage 2, meaning she had a fighting chance to beat it. Spoiler alert, she would beat it. I was at her house helping her get her kids off to school and I came back and she asked me to get a box down from her closet. It was full of pretty things that her husband had bought her that she didn't wear, saving them for a special occasion. She felt foolish as she had had them for years, but never worn them. Everything from designer dresses to fancy lingerie like bras and stockings and panties. She had preferred to be frugal for her kids and family, playing the part of a salt-of-the-earth woman. As I was helping her get ready for days of cancer treatments, she decided that on her good days, she was going to wear the slinky things. She recovered and started wearing nice things every day. She told me later that the day that we were looking at the lovelies that she felt a rebirth. U/LakeLove3R responded. 2002. I was helping a very shy and reserved friend move. When we got her mattress and box spring off the bed frame, there was an ungodly collection of spent AA batteries on the floor. I faked a sneezing fit and excused myself to get myself under control. I fake blew my nose and fake sneezed and coughed a bunch of times. I came out wiping my eyes and apologized for leaving so abruptly, but the dust set me off. The batteries were all gone. I don't know if she bought it, but even if she didn't, I like to think that she was happy that I pretended to not see anything and give her time to clean up. P.S. Yes, masturbation is totally normal and fine, but it still is a very personal topic for many people. U/Vermiciousnid responded. My girlfriend's family, mom and bro, very generously offered to help me move because they had a truck. We're almost finished and her mom is emptying my trash cans into a bag. Well, she gets to the one by my bed and a used condom falls out, missing the bag and flopping onto the floor. Embarrassed, her mom picks it up barehanded and throws it in the bag. Already a big yikes, but she just smiles at me and then goes to wash her hands. But that's not even the worst part. My girlfriend approaches me the next time we're together and is super pissed because she heard what happened, and she and I never use condoms. Thankfully, she believes me when I tell her the awful truth. No, I didn't cheat on you. Yes, your mom picked up a 4-plus-month-old condom I used with my ex. U/island_maximum responded. Had an old couch cancer of a roommate. He eventually got kicked out for not having any money to pay bills or rent. He owned little, but left a bunch of dirty clothes for us to deal with. One day, a wooden spoon got knocked behind the fridge, so we had to move it to retrieve the spoon. Behind the fridge was many used condoms. Here's the kicker, he never had any girls over, so we theorized he jerked off into condoms, and rather than toss them in the trash he just whipped them behind the fridge. We told this story to previous roommates of his we knew, and they told us after he left their place they found piles of cum socks under the couch he lived on. Horrified, we checked under the couch he slept on when we got home. Yap. U/Soul Captain responded. Not my friend, but me. I was moving and several friends were helping me out, 2 guys and 2 girls. We're moving my bedroom, and we're on the last thing to move out, my bed. It just so happened that everyone was in the room at the time. It's the mattress, box springs, and frame, and as soon as we pick up the mattress, it exposes the Spank magazine I had placed there, for you youngsters. Before Pornhub we used to jerk off to physical magazines. Everyone went silent when the magazine was revealed. 5 seconds of silence, then, everyone burst out laughing, and honestly that was a huge relief. If they had just been silent and polite and pretended not to see it out of pity, that would have been awful. But they laughed and that actually made me feel a lot better. U/odd significance 962 responded. Helping my grandma move my great-uncle's stuff out of his apartment when he passed. He was a hoarder and it was bad. There was a path to his bedroom and a path to the bathroom. Everyone thought of him as a good Christian. Turns out he was super gay. After the first few boxes I told my grandma to go back home because I saw rats, but what I really saw were piles and piles and piles of gay porn, her naked brother and sex toys. I mean loads and loads of gay porn and sex toys. He probably had at least 5 copies of every gay porno ever made. Plus every possible costume and outfit. Turns out all that gay porn was valuable. The owner of an adult store in SF, this was like 30 years ago, picked it all up with a U-Haul and paid my grandma more than $80,000 for it. U/Snicklefreeze responded. Not while helping a friend move, but cleaning out a previous tenant's room. I had been granted a restraining order on the individual, who developed an alarming meth addiction and subsequently become delusional, violent, abusive, disgusting, etc. Ex-serviceman who had owned multiple firearms, before they were confiscated by the police. Absolute danger to himself and others. Waited 6 months to clean out his cesspool after no mediated contact to retrieve his belongings. Found dozens of piss jugs, several homemade dildos fashioned from Sculpey clay, a homemade sex doll with a woman's top and male bottom, several to-go bags packed with women's clothes, his size, false titties, butt plugs, and enema kits, tons of empty alcohol bottles, adult diapers, both new and very used, and, of course, National Guard memorabilia. U/Scotchybob responded. Okay, so I didn't find it so much as I felt it. My BIL and I got tasked with digging our aunt's heavy-ass, solid oak dresser out of her storage unit. Of course, it was at the very back, so just getting to it required moving washers, dryers, refrigerator, etc. We finally get to it and wrestle it out to his truck out front. As we go to lift it up onto the tailgate, he pulls the top drawer out a few inches, as do I, so we can really lock our hands in and lift this behemoth. Immediately, my hand closes on something that is cold, spongy, and very sticky. Yap. It was her used, unwashed dildo that had been festering in the storage unit heat for God knows how long. He saw my face drop and the look of pure disgust. I knew what I had grabbed. He knew just by the look on my face what I'd grabbed, and we both just started laughing. We still talk about that day over beers and chuckle. U/Sphinctersufel responded. I had a younger girl who used to work for me ask if I could help her move from college apartment. Her dad was going to help. I was good friends with the whole family, so I said sure. We're picking up the mattress and lo and behold there sits a Kama Sutra in hardback and 2 dildos. I started laughing and Dad freezes, she screams and tries to throw some clothes she had in her hands to cover them up. Turns out she was trying to move all of her panties and lingerie while our backs were turned. Her thongs didn't completely cover the toys. Dad turns around and walked into another room. I'm dying laughing. She's trying to put everything in a box. I ask her if I'm going to find any more surprises, and she says that she had everything else already packed. I apologized to Dad for laughing, and he just said not to mention it. Dad had to ride 2 hours with his 18-year-old princess after finding her dildos. You/@bat3 responded. My grandpa passed away when I was 14. My dad then informed me that my grandpa was in prison for 14 years and was released the year before I was born. Rest of the family knew, but for some reason my dad never wanted me to know. But despite being an Ivy League grad, member of Mensa, my grandparents were very poor and he turned to a life of petty crime to get by. The crimes got more serious as he continued, and he even burglarized our local museum. That wasn't what he went to prison for though, so he got away with the museum job. My grandma had died a couple years before he did. So he spent his last years in a cabin after selling the family home, all his choice. Anyway, when he did die, we had to clean out the cabin. We came across a box that said, if you find this and I'm still alive, please leave it alone. If you find this and I am dead, please do not open it and burn it. My idea of opening it got outvoted by my aunts and cousins who wanted to respect his wishes. I'll always wonder what was in that box. You/Stanton 1947 responded. Was asked to help my FIL clean out his goddaughter's house. She went to federal prison on a drug conspiracy conviction stemming from her boyfriend's activities. She is from a prominent family, and the feds got him to roll on her. They were together like 6 months. Her family disowned her. We arrived to find the house a shambles, cigarette crack pipe burns on every antique in the place, etc. In her bedroom were hundreds of explicit nude Polaroids of her with 6 to 7 different men, tied up, gagged, 3 to 4 men and women at once, bondage gear, like 25 strap-on dildos, etc. All the way to her house, mini estate in the country. My FL was telling me what a good girl she had always been, how beautiful she was, how the situation was unfair, bad day all around. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you might enjoy the rest of my content. Check it out.